Hi, welcome to my Carnivore channel. My name is Steve. I really just want to share with you my story and kind of where I've come from, how I found out that I had the sickness, and how it's affected me up until today. Um, I'm the eldest of three boys. I grew up in Illinois for the first 6 years of my life. We moved to South Carolina for about 9. And when I was in first grade, we moved to Pittsburgh. I was always a pretty active kid, uh, but it was in the first grade that I found out that I had the sickness of thickness. It kind of started. Um, my parents enrolled me in soccer and basketball. Um, I remember Weight Watchers was always a part of our household. Uh, we had Richard Simmons going. I do Richard Simmons workouts with my mom, um, and so it kind of fought off that thickness, especially during the spring and summer and fall. But the winter time came and it kind of came back, and then we'd fight it off for the next 3 months or 3 seasons. That was a cycle that I was on from first grade through fifth grade. And then sixth grade came along, and we had moved from Pittsburgh back to Chicago again. And I'd found a lot of things to do in my community that I just loved doing. Going to the pool down the street, playing soccer during the summertime, riding my bike all over our neighborhood. Um, and I was able to still, I'd slim up during the spring, summer, and fall, and then I'd thicken up in the wintertime again. And that took me through junior high. As I got older, I eventually got thicker and thicker. I never was what I would say very overweight, just slightly overweight, to the point where it was obvious if I wasn't remaining active, that I would put on a lot of weight. But then freshman year of high school came, and I decided I did not want to play soccer anymore. I traded in soccer for a football helmet, and at that time, I was always a tall kid too, always taller than anyone in my class. My freshman year, I believe I was like 5'11", almost 6 feet tall. But I was like 185 pounds, so there wasn't much of anything I could do on the football field. I really didn't care for playing football, and I just kind of, went with it for the season. Played basketball in the winter season. Didn't do anything for the spring season, but something happened in the springtime that I decided that I really wanted to pursue football, and I needed to go ahead and get stronger. So every single day after school, I'd go up to the gym and I'd lift weights for the rest of the fourth quarter of school. And then summertime came along, and we had a bench press in my basement. And so on a daily basis, I'd go down there and I'd be lifting weights. And to the point where when I went back for my sophomore year, people hardly recognized me. I'd grown a couple inches. I would think I was like 6'2", and then I'd put on like 30 pounds, and I'd slim down too. And that 30 pounds was just muscle. I weighed like 210 pounds at 6'3", and just yeah. So, and when I got that reaction, it's kind of what started me wanting to remain big, but in a different way. I didn't want to remain big as being thick. I wanted to be big as being strong. So that continued on sophomore, junior, senior year. My senior year, I was 6'5". I weighed like 320 pounds. I was extremely strong, extremely large, but not super thick. And that's when I got lucky and I met my wife, and graduated in 2000. No, sorry. We graduated in 1991, and then we actually got married in January of 1992, and started a family pretty quick with my daughter, and then 4 years after that with our son. And so I spent a lot of time. I no longer was going and working out. I no longer was looking to exercise. I was working 2 jobs, trying to make sure that we had enough to eat and survive. But we were still really pretty poor, and we didn't have a lot of food all the time. A lot of times we had to go to like food pantries to survive. And that probably put off my weight gain from getting any heavier, just because of that fact. But, you know, as I hit around 25 years old, I could see the scale increasing slowly but surely. 260, 270. By the time I was 30 years old, I weighed about 320 pounds. I still felt comfortable with 320 pounds. I still felt that I looked pretty good at 320. And I would tell anybody that would ask, there's nothing I can do to go above 320 pounds. I can eat whatever I want. And then, I try and lose some weight, but I just come right back to the 320 pounds. And that was pretty much true until I hit about 35, 36. And then I started gaining weight again. And it was like another ring on the tree, right? So my weight started going up and up and up until I was 40 years old. And when I hit 40, I was around 420 pounds. So I'd gained like 100 pounds in that 10 years. And again, it was a situation where it didn't matter what I did. When I tried to lose weight, I'd lose some pounds, and it would come right back to 420. I could eat whatever I wanted, and I never moved that scale above 420. Then about 45, 46, and I started seeing that scale move. And so when I hit 50 years old, I was right around 500 pounds. And I tried everything. I really did. In those years of gaining weight, I tried the liquid diet, just with all shakes. And they tasted horrible. So to try and survive on that, there was that lady that, I don't know if you remember, Susan Powder. She would always say in her infomercials, "Fat makes you fat." So I decided I'm not eating any fat anymore. So I cut down to like 10 grams of fat a day, which is just like a pat of butter. So really all I was eating was like tuna fish and beans and potatoes. And that's not sustainable for anybody. And I mean, I tried Atkins for a bit, and that went well, but nobody else enjoyed that type of eating, so I didn't do that for very long. I tried the potato diet, where all you eat is potatoes. Oh my God, that was horrible. And then I also did the paleo diet, which the paleo diet I thought was kind of fun. My doctor said, you should try this. So I did, but it gave me kidney stones. And I told my doctor, I got kidney stones from this diet. He goes, yeah, that could happen. So anyway, fast forward to 51. And I can't really move that much. Not being able to move, not being able to walk without losing my breath, feeling the pains in my knees and my back, not being able to go anywhere that required some type of walk. We got tickets to USFL here in Canton, and it wasn't that far to get from the parking spot to our seats, But I would have to stop maybe 6 times, maybe even more, just to get to our seats, because I just couldn't walk that far. And I remember one day taking Teresa, my wife, to the store and waiting for her outside, and seeing this guy walk into the store. And man, was I jealous. And it wasn't for any other reason that he could walk and I couldn't. And so I decided the thing that I put off and said I would never, ever, ever do, I made the appointment for the gastric bypass surgery. And my appointment was scheduled for about a month and a half ago. So that's kind of where I'm going to stop tonight. My next story will kind of take you from the time that I made the appointment until I am today. So thanks for stopping by and listening to my story. If you could do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And let me know if anything that I've been through, if you can relate to it down in the comments, and I would really appreciate it. Until next time, thanks again for stopping by my Carnivore channel.